So everything started good. I just put a PSC power steering system on this, and there's 2 lines that connect to the steering box itself, and apparently neglected to tighten those tight enough. Drove out here perfectly fine, and then we started getting off-road, and I think the fittings just were not quite tight enough, and so they cracked loose, and it spit like a quart of fluid, like some of it onto the manifold. Luckily, nothing caught fire. So we just had to tighten the fittings, wipe off as much as we could, and then put more power steering fluid in it. Seems fine. So just keeping an eye on it, because power steering fluid next to a header is kind of a recipe for a fire. Not a good thing. But so far, seems good.
The bump and grind line.
That's a fucking problem. Now it's down at a union down here.
What?
I don't get it.
I fucking personally tightened those.
So the fluid has to be coming from right there. Steering got stiff all of a sudden, and I smelt just the.
So we've got to have, it's got to be an articulation problem.
So it's causing the hoses to do that.
Yeah.
You gotta take the zip ties off the hoses. So
Well, it's got a bracket. You got to remove that bracket and take it off. Did you weld, did you weld those to the track bar? By it being welded, it's too tight.
And so it cracked it loose when it was flexing.
As soon as it flexes out, and it'll break the line if it doesn't crack it loose.
So I need to unbolt that.
Unbolt
and
that one.
Zip tie it and let it
float.
Let it float.
That one's probably okay, but definitely not that one.
So that's where it came loose. And I bet you anything, we just tighten it, it's fine, but it's going to do it again.
Yeah, definitely remove.
But now I don't have power steering fluid.
You haven't lost that much, I don't think.
No, I lost a lot.
It only just started right here.
Yeah,
I know.
It pumps it.
but it dumped a lot right here.
Ladies Auxiliary of VFW Post 1950. So we're almost in Death Valley, and we ended up at this old cabin, which has a cool fireplace, so we got plenty of heat. King of the Hammer sticker from 2017. It's been a long trip so far. I've had power steering issues, entirely my fault. The way one of the lines is routed, when the vehicle flexes out, it's cracking the fitting loose, and so I'm dumping power steering fluid. And so I thought it was an isolated thing first day. It happened again at the lower fitting, and we realized that it was the whole track bar was like torquing just slightly. Jake Versey and I hauled ass back out, and we're able to make it from the gas station, let's see, an hour. The gas station all the way out to this cabin in like an hour and 40 minutes, which I thought was pretty good. All in all, I mean, it's been an adventure. But that's the whole point that we came out to Death Valley, was for an adventure. Like you don't come out to Death Valley to do like hardcore wheeling and hardcore rock crawling. You come out here to explore mines, to check out cabins like this. You know, this is what we're here for. We're here for an adventure. So the power steering has just made that adventure a little bit more complicated. But luckily, no fires, no issues, and not that big of a deal.
That would be a shitty ride.
Could you imagine driving like a vehicle from then back through these roads?
Normally they wouldn't allow something like this in the national park.
Unless it was built before it became a national park.
I mean,
like that's like Teton.
Well, yeah, but you also think about like, okay, it's a historical kind of thing, but they're letting people stay in it. Doesn't it seem like kind of a liability? I mean, it's like scary. Yeah. Because I mean, think about how many people would kick and scream if they wrecked this place, like mowed it down. You wouldn't be able to make anybody happy.
We'll hit Hot Springs.
There is a hot spring. You got to hike up to it. I ain't doing it. You guys can.
Okay.
It's not real. I don't know. Like imagine sitting in this full of water.
We can take turns in the hot spring this afternoon, Stuart.
Think of all the fucking little poo flakes floating in there. I call first.
Oh, yeah. That's probably 1,500 feet, 2,000 feet.
I'm not sure.
Think if that was covered in snow. So we were looking for striped butte, right?
Yep.
That's obviously striped butte.
Yep. I want to go wheel it with the Jeep, but turns out it's a national forest. Dude, I kind of get it. I didn't really get it why they would end up here, but like from this exact vantage point, it's super peaceful.
Yeah. Oh, this was a ranch?
Yeah, I think that's what she did.
Okay. You can see there's a spring near that house, right?
Yeah, there's water.
Yeah.
There's water. You can actually see the water that we'll be driving through, I think, down below in the road. See it? Next, like look at the red Jeep and then just go to the right of the red Jeep.
Yeah, that puddle.
Yeah.
The water comes out of the wall.
The sink in that cabin works.
Huh.
It's operable. Like
okay.
I wouldn't drink it.
There's our trail up. There's Goler Canyon. Mango Pass is what we did last night. There's our camp from last night. Striped Butte, we saw that. That was cool. But Onyx is freaking cool just because, I mean, they've got so many trails, everything's mapped out, and it leaves a good breadcrumb so you never really get lost. And they throw stuff like, that must be an old gold mine. So I guess we stay at pretty much this elevation all the way out to the road. Oh, that's interesting. Cylinder Hill, negative 95 feet. So we do drop down because we are at 2,400 feet right now. Oh, they even mark water. That's cool.
I'm entertained. It's fascinating.
This is the office. They got a table and a chair.
Up
there. That's where the gold is. Just nuggets if they fucking left. It's fairly soft too, I would think, right? Recently decommissioned.
Just in case this thing collapses, can we come to a consensus that we eat Liam first?
So we started in Trona, went over Goler Pass or Goler Wash, and then dropped down, stayed at a cabin, Stella's cabin, second night, I guess. And then now we're in Death Valley, little over 100 feet below sea level right now. Heading into some gas station where we'll meet another buddy of mine, and then I think today we're supposed to go to 280 feet below sea level. I think that's the lowest point in North America. And we'll probably do another 40 miles today.
I'm definitely the heaviest, so I'm out. I'm not dumb. It started getting deeper and deeper, and I'm like, nope.
Special beef thread. Grows on the pavement.
Oh. That whole area was a bombing range.
Oh yeah.
Get the potty? You do anything fun? We're stuck.
So we just hit a sulfur mine and found out that sulfur can light on fire. Apparently it lights on fire at, they said, what, 235 degrees? So we burned some sulfur, because what else would you do? But just wild, like yellow fluorescent rock. So we're headed now, we were in Nevada yesterday. Now we're almost to the 395. I think we pop out in Lone Pine and we'll head south towards Reward Mine, which I was up here a month ago running a bunch of stuff in the Eastern Sierra. That's that mine that you can drive vehicles down into it. Huge old abandoned gold mine. So just tons of cool stuff to see out here. So directly in front of us is like Bishop area, and that is the Eastern Sierra Nevada mountains. So we'll head south towards Lone Pine and towards Mount Whitney. There is a Tesla down there.
What the fuck?
Thing has 0 sidewall.
He's got a wild boy for sure.
That's 100?
That's 100.
We spent the night at Saline Hot Springs. Super cool little oasis in the middle of the desert here. There's like palm tree groves. They've got hot springs and nice little evening, I don't know, we went in them at like 10 o'clock at night, soaked in them for a little while. Got up this morning, made breakfast, and we are heading down and we'll loop around. It looks like we'll make our way back to Trona today through Lippincott Pass, I believe, and that'll dump us back down, I guess, into Death Valley. We did, let's see, we've done 450 miles off-road so far. So all in all, probably a 1,000-mile trip. Super good shakedown on the Bronco. That all went really well. And all in all, just a fun trip. Great time. If you do get a chance, highly recommend checking out Death Valley.